There have been some questions about whether these pulse width modulators really work or not. Well, I've got a meter and we're going to test it and see that it does provide an advantage. Stay tuned. Quick review on what a pulse width modulator does. It pulses the juice to the motor, and basically the motor keeps running, but you don't lose any of the energy to heat that you do without the pulse width modulator. So what we're going to do to test that, and I've got a meter here, and it's going to measure the average draw because it's not going to measure the discrete, pulse draw. And what we should see as I set this at 20%, 60%, and 100% is that the voltage should be less than 12. Then we'll remove the pulse width modulator, do the same thing at speed setting 1, 3, and 5, and we should see that it's a consistent 12 volts, which means no matter what the speed setting is on this, it's still drawing as much current from the battery as it can, and that's what is the inefficiency. So let's go ahead and get going. I'll set this on 20, and let's check out the meter. So you can see it's about, looks like it's stabilizing around 3 volts. Now let's turn it up to 60. And at 60, you see it's drawn right around 7. Now let's turn it to full speed. And that's where it's going to draw the full 12 volts. So the bottom line is, at full speed, there's no difference. There's no advantage of the pulse width modulator. It's sucking in as much voltage as it possibly can. Let me go ahead and disconnect this, and then we'll do the same test without the pulse width modulator. We're all hooked up. You can see the meter is active. I got wires all over the place. So let's set this at 20%, the first speed. And you can see that we're drawing 12.6 volts. Let's bump it up to 60%. It's still 12.6 volts. And on full speed, still 12.6. Want to turn that off. You're not really supposed to run these outside the water. So that's pretty conclusive proof that the pulse width modulator provides an advantage in terms of the power consumption in a trolling motor. Now, the closer you get to full speed, the less the advantage is. But if you're just kind of turning it on to hold in place in a light current, it's much more efficient to have the pulse width modulator in there, and you're going to have a longer day on the water. Again, with a pulse width modulator, the slower you go, the farther you go, and the longer it's going to last. Hope this was helpful. It certainly proved it to me that I made the right call, and I'm glad I spent the money on this meter to be able to show you guys the advantage of the pulse width modulator. Comments? Throw it down below. Thanks.